President Trump, we don't want you or any other king to rule us. Thank you very much, but we will maintain our democratic form of society. We will not move toward authoritarianism in America. We, the people.
Picture this. Bernie Sanders walks into a protest called No Kings and somehow ends up roasting the guy who thinks he actually is one Donald Trump. The crowd's chanting for democracy, Bernie's waving his hands like he's conducting chaos, and Trump somewhere wondering if No Kings was a personal invite. What happens next? Political fireworks, socialist sass, and billionaire meltdowns. The Royal Rumble America didn't know it needed just began.
We have a president who is moving this country rapidly into authoritarianism. He is suing media who criticizes him. He is going after law firms who have clients who were against him. He's going after universities that teach courses that he doesn't like. He's threatening to impeach judges who rule against him, and he's usurping the powers of the United States Congress. This guy wants all of the power. He does not believe in the Constitution. He does not believe in...
It finally happened. Bernie Sanders, the man who's been shouting about billionaires since the dial-up days, just went full scorched earth mode. This time at the No Kings protest, a rally that had no kings except one guy desperate to be treated like one. And you guessed it, that guy couldn't stay away from the spotlight even if democracy itself begged him to.
I think the American people are sick and tired. And by the way, getting back to the shutdown, let's put this on the line. Why did Trump and his friends throw 15 million people off of health care and double premiums? You know why? To give $1 trillion in tax breaks to Elon Musk, Mr. Bezos, and the billionaire class. Anyone in America think?
And of course that guy is Donald Trump, America's self-crowned monarch of gold toilets, orange glow, and glamorous bankruptcies. The event was meant to be about democracy, equality, and humility, 3 concepts that sound like personal insults to Trump. And when Bernie took the mic, the atmosphere shifted from protest to full-blown political roast.
Just last Saturday, on the No Kings Day, millions and millions of Americans in every state of this country came out and loudly and clearly, they said no to oligarchy, no to authoritarianism and picking people up off of the streets.
If you're enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. Because Bernie Sanders just showed up like a man who waited 50 years to say "I told you so." He came armed with facts, fury, and that Vermont-style righteousness that sounds like your grandpa yelling at Wall Street, except this grandpa's logic hits harder than a campaign ad during election week.
Hypocrisy and a president who's going to make billions of dollars off of his presidency. And no to legislation which will provide, if passed, hundreds of billions of dollars in tax breaks to the top 1% and make devastating cuts to the needs of working families.
Donald Trump has spent years calling himself the voice of the working class while living in a golden tower that probably blinds satellites. Bernie Sanders looked at that contradiction and ripped it apart like an overpriced Mar-a-Lago dinner receipt. His tone alone could power half of Vermont. His message: stop pretending you're the victim when you literally own the golf course, the hotel, and the merch table.
It's a joke. I looked at the people. They're not representative of this country. And I looked at all the brand new signs paid for, I guess it was paid for by Soros and other radical left lunatics. It looks like it was. We're checking it out. The demonstrations were very small, very ineffective, and the people were whacked out. When you look at those people, those are not representative of the people of our country. I'm not a king. I work my off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all.
The funny part is Trump probably thought the No Kings protest was about him being left out of a coronation. The man treats democracy like a tax audit he can't tweet away. But Bernie Sanders wasn't letting that slide. Every word he spoke was a laser-guided jab at billionaire greed. And the best part? He never even said Trump's name. The truth hit all by itself.
It's not just about one man's greed, one man's corruption, or one man's contempt for the Constitution. This is about a handful of the wealthiest people on earth who, in their insatiable greed, have hijacked our economy and our political system in order to enrich themselves at the expense of working families throughout this country.
The No Kings protest wasn't just politics, it was a mirror held up to America. Bernie Sanders asked one brutal question. How did a country founded on anti-monarchy ideals end up worshipping billionaires like medieval peasants? Donald Trump built his identity on being an outsider while living as the ultimate insider. And Bernie? He tore that illusion apart with quiet surgical precision.
Mr. President, is a very honest man. And if he says something, man, you could take it to the bank.
So you're saying his word is not enough?
Bankruptcy court.
His word? No.
So what do you need to see? What commitments from?
I think we need to see ink on paper. I think we need to see legislation. I think we need to see votes. And I think we need to see these things pass on the floor of the House and the Senate and signed by President Trump. I don't accept IOUs. I don't accept pinky promises. That's not.
Bernie Sanders has that energy. I'm not mad, just disappointed. But in a way that makes billionaires sweat through their designer suits. Donald Trump, who breathes attention, doesn't know how to handle someone who doesn't care about fame. Bernie can't be bought, can't be flattered, and definitely can't be invited to the club he's outside asking why it costs so much to get in.
It is in danger when we have a president who wants more and more power in his own hands and in the hands of his fellow oligarchs. The millions of Americans from our smallest towns to our largest cities in every state in our country who are gathering today at thousands of rallies.
It's almost poetic. The billionaire who wanted to be a king undone by the socialist who wanted no kings at all. Donald Trump craves loyalty, applause, and crowns. Bernie Sanders demands justice, reform, and fairness. Trump built an empire of ego. Bernie built a movement of truth. And somewhere in between, America stood confused, half laughing, half crying, wondering how we got here.
Congress and then the Senate, you served through a number of different administrations with different presidents. And I've covered a number of shutdowns. I've never seen a president during a shutdown kind of gloating about the ability to punish people or to take stuff away from people in states that didn't vote for him. Have you seen that before?
No, of course we haven't. Chris, we are living in an unprecedentedly dangerous moment. Maybe the worst crisis in America literally since.
Here's the wild part. Bernie Sanders doesn't even try to be funny. The truth itself has become comedy. Talking about billionaires dodging taxes while workers drown in debt isn't a joke, but it lands like one because the system's that broken. Donald Trump, of course, sees himself as the ultimate deal maker. But Bernie's deals are different. His are with reality, empathy, and fairness. Trump's version of fairness is everyone else paying for his luxury. And that's what makes Bernie so powerful. He doesn't need gold stages or catchy slogans. His words alone peel the glitter off power. While Trump performs for applause, Bernie speaks for truth. One sells dreams, the other demands justice, and that's why the crowd listens.
Result of Trump's big, beautiful bill, which to my mind was one of the worst pieces of legislation passed in modern history. This is what is going to happen. 15 million low-income and working-class Americans are going to lose their health insurance. Studies indicate that when you take away health insurance for so many people, you know what happens? 50,000 people will die unnecessarily every single year. 50,000 of our fellow Americans. And then on top of that, and people are now in Vermont and around the country getting their notices.
In that moment, Bernie Sanders didn't just confront Donald Trump. He cracked Trumpism itself. The illusion that money equals wisdom and fame equals virtue. Bernie stood calm and fearless, reminding everyone that leadership isn't about crowns, it's about conscience. While Trump talks about wealth and winning, Bernie talks about people and purpose. His voice doesn't shout, it cuts through the noise because it's real. And that's what makes it so satisfying. In a world obsessed with kings, one old socialist showed up to remind everyone we don't need one. Sometimes the loudest truth is spoken softly, and Bernie Sanders proved exactly that.
Have a president who is acting unconstitutionally and illegally. Guess what? These projects have been appropriated.
Yes.
They were signed by a president. It is illegal to rescind them. And then basically to say to people in Vermont, in New York, in California, oh, you didn't vote for Donald Trump? Well, we're going to take away funding that was supposed to go to your state. Illegal, outrageous.
The contrast between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump is almost cosmic. Trump believes wealth is genius. Bernie believes it's proof someone else got underpaid. Trump builds monuments to himself. Bernie builds arguments that shake the system. Maybe that's why his takedown felt so complete. Bernie didn't scream, he exposed. He didn't need gold towers or jets, just honesty and conviction. The No Kings protest wasn't rebellion, it was revelation. Power without humility always collapses, and Trump's glittering empire was never gold, just spray paint and lighting. In the end, Bernie Sanders didn't just defeat a man, he unmasked an illusion.